Technical difficulties. What?
Oh,
No
only
such thing.
only put us 1 minute behind today, though. That's good. That's we're
Nice.
we're doing great.
Yeah, that's not bad. That was
So
my fault too.
that's
So we're
okay.
going to hang out
There's
tonight. We're going to talk about the Taxi Road Rally. For people who don't know what that is, maybe Matt, do you want to do a little summary?
Oh gosh, sure. Put me on the
Put you on the
spot.
spot.
yeah.
Yeah, the
This is for
Taxi Road Rally is a 4-day music conference in LA, running like usually the first weekend of November. It's put on by the company called Taxi, which is a music service that I would assume most people that are familiar with you guys are probably familiar with Taxi. Maybe there's some people out there that aren't. But Taxi puts on this music conference, which is free to all of its members, which is like probably the biggest perk that any company could offer anybody, because it's completely free to us. And it's just kind of an intensive 4-day. Is it 4 days? Yeah, it was 4 days.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So it's just a very intensive weekend with stuff happening all the time. From like huge panel discussions in a very big ballroom where the owner of Taxi moderates and asks questions of the panelists, all the way down to like little breakaway classes in various rooms. And those rooms maybe fit 30, 40 people. And they're taught by all sorts of people teaching all sorts of things. So it's just like really, I try to tell people it's almost like a weekend workshop in college. If you guys ever did those, I would take at least 2 weekend workshops like every semester. And you get in and it's like all day Friday, or all day Saturday and Sunday, and then you get a credit for it. Like that was the best way
yeah.
to get college credits. Well, this is like the same type of thing, only it's probably like 3 credits worth, because you are going from the moment you wake up until far after midnight, and then waking up early and doing it again for 4 days.
It
So one of the
definitely.
things. Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Oh, I was just going to say it definitely has that college element to it with the amount of drinking that goes on.
Yeah. Yep.
So one of the
With
things.
with the slightly more adult, whatever, adult behavior, maybe.
Yeah.
Adults
There's
acting like kids, but we're not
there's a
being
bit
too
of that.
stupid. Nobody's throwing
No.
up in the trash can or anything.
No, it's everyone's pretty well behaved, all things considered.
Yeah, I would say for the amount of alcohol that's consumed that weekend,
Ooh.
people are fairly well behaved.
Yes.
Hey, Andre, welcome to the party. I did just want to say to those of you tuning in on TikTok, I am very sorry that it says that we're having a listening session tonight. We are not. We did, however, experience technical difficulties that did not allow us to change that. Tonight, we're talking about the Taxi Road Rally. And for those of you who don't know what that is, you can watch the replay because Matt just gave us a great summary. But a lot of people that hang out with us or stop by are either new magicians, new
Oh, I want to join
musicians,
that class.
Right.
new
I
musicians
missed it.
starting out, or people who are already in the taxi world. So for people who are just starting out and have never been to the road rally, Todd and I joined in 2020. So our first 2 were virtual ones. And then we've been going to LA every year since then. How many years have you gone, Matt?
I think this was my 14th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
14.
Wow.
Now, 2 of those count the 2 virtual ones. So I guess 12 in person.
When
And
Virtual.
I know if people go to the website, they can see obviously the information about the classes and stuff. But I thought we would kind of chat about what it is that like our favorite ones are, or that we didn't get to go to, because I felt like this year I didn't get to go to some that I really wanted to go to.
Yeah, same. I also want Matt to chamber the story of his first road rally. I want to wait till some people get here.
Okay.
Just for those who have not heard the story of Matt's first road rally, it's very, very, very good story. Yes, but yeah, I was the same way. I felt like there was a lot of stuff I didn't want to see, but it was mainly because now, after so many years of going, both you and me were kind of working on keeping up relationships that you've built with people over time, which is another big thing that you do, not necessarily in your first couple road rallies, but after that, and you've gotten to know people, and you've worked with them virtually, or you've seen them at other online things. A lot of it is just getting some FaceTime with those friends, and it's a really good group. So, really good group of people to hang out and be creative with.
Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome, Marion. We're glad you guys are here to hang out. There's 4 people here on YouTube now, she says. Hey, guys. We got some people on TikTok, so hopefully we've got some people on Facebook.
We have 2 on Facebook, and I think one of them is me. So.
So we got people coming in from all over the place. So if you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. We are watching them, and I'm monitoring them on TikTok too, so we can interact with you a little tiny bit. So Matt, for the people that are coming from TikTok especially, who probably don't know you, what is it that you do with Taxi? Do you work for them?
Oh, no, I don't work for Taxi at all. Nope, never have. No, I'm just a member, just like everybody else. I've just been a member for an awful long time. I think I'm in my 17th year of Taxi membership now. So that's 17 continuous years because I never let my membership drop. Actually, one time I missed my renewal by 1 day, so I had to call the office. So there was a point where I was not a member for 1 day out of these past 17 years. But no, I'm just a member like everybody else. So I don't get paid by Taxi or anything. It would be nice if I get something for teaching all the classes I teach down there. But I feel like this is the company that gave me my start, and not only my start, they continue feeding me opportunities just like they do everybody else who's a member. Like I don't get special consideration or anything, but they've essentially given me this career on a silver platter. And so like the least I can do is go down and give back to the company that gave me an entire career for the small price of a couple $100 a year.
So for those of you that don't know, Todd and Matt and we all make music for film and TV, and we're all kind of at different phases of that process. Matt is actually the reason why Todd and I got into it in the first place. And we're talking about the Taxi Road Rally that happens in November in LA. And I'm just sitting here, I'm looking at the program for Friday, and there were classes like, it's not the best music, we need the right music. And I think that that's something that probably were worth us chatting about a tiny bit. What does that even mean?
I think, Matt, you did a video on that, didn't you? I think you have a video called "It's Not the Best Song, It's the Right Song" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what my title was. It's something about like, don't make cool music, make usable music.
Oh, yeah.
And I harp on people all the time over that very thing. And on my YouTube channel, I'm always trying to impress on people that it doesn't matter really how cool or how good and cool your music is. Does that make any sense? Like, I mean, if you play your music to your friends and like, this is so cool, then that's meaningless. The cool factor of anything that you make is it's insignificant in the terms of this business, because what we really have to do as songwriters or composers for TV or media is make music that works in the context of a video. And that doesn't mean cool. I mean, sometimes this stuff is cool, but that shouldn't be the defining, or like that shouldn't be the driving factor for you to make something that is cool. In our industry, you just have to make music that works good on a video project, because that's the only way your music gets used, and therefore the only way you get paid.
Do you ever find that your least favorite pieces get used the most? That's
yeah. Although, gosh, I will say that after all these years, I've narrowed it down to basically 4 styles of music that I do almost exclusively. And so it's just 4 styles. So I'm not surprised anymore when one of them gets, action and others don't. What does surprise me a lot, though, I guess this isn't even surprising anymore because I've been in this business a long time now, but what always makes me shake my head is when I look at cue sheets and I see that the drum and bass mix of a song was what was used. And it'd play for like 30, 45 seconds, and it's just a drum beat and some bass. It's like, oh, the rest of the song was happening, man.
Right.
You know, the rest of the song or the rest of the cue is where you get all the mood and the emotion and everything. But sometimes editors just need something that drives a scene forward without getting in the way. And so you strip all the melody and everything that's distracting off of it, and all you're left with is drum and bass. And I would say that probably gets more use than the full mixes of things.
However, the whole song has to be cool enough to make the journey from your computer to a music supervisor to someone who listens to it and thinks this, oh, that's super cool. Now take everything away from it.
Yeah.
That's
Had a lot of people ask me, why do we even bother? Like, why do we even bother worrying about the lyrics, or why do we even bother worrying about the structure? And I always say, it's because you have to get them to like it first.
Yeah. You know, it's like on a dating app. It's the profile picture. Like your full song or your full cue is the profile picture. Yeah. And that drives the interest. And then if like that's the only reason a music library is going to sign it, is if the full version is cool. Like they're not going to drill down and be like, oh, I think the bass and drums are really happening, so I'm going to sign that piece of music just so I can get that mix. Like they're not going to do that. So you have to have a very strong song or a very strong cue. But then what happens is when it finally gets its way to the editor, and the editor gets interested in it because they're just listening to the full version too, then they're dragging that into the project. And then, gosh, probably 4 times out of 5, it's way too busy. And they're like, dang, but I really liked it. Oh, let's just drill down. Here's the drum and bass version. And so that's what they settle on to use. But it was the full version that got you there.
Do you even get to go to the classes, Matt?
I went to one by James Koshin and one by Greg Carosa.
What were those ones on? I'm scrolling through those would be in the driver's ed classes, right?
Yeah.
So what was James? James was on Dating Your Songs. Was that the one you did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like that class.
Awesome. Freaking awesome.
I like how
he played. Do you want me to talk about that for just a second?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So James Koshin is like...
Todd's wearing the T-shirt, so we might as well go all the way.
Yeah, let's just go.
There it is.
Shameless marketing.
We're all here for
it. James is just a great guy, and he's got such a way with a crowd, and he's a very good presenter. I think it's because he's a pastor, so he's constantly in front of crowds, just like I'm constantly in front of crowds too, but I'm a college professor, so I swear at my crowds a lot more than I'm sure James does. But he's very good in front of an audience, and just he presents things in a way that make it very easy to learn from and digest. And he went through, I think, 10 steps on how to undate your songs, and went very methodically through each of it. And then at the end of the class, he played an example of one of his, we'd call them students or...
one of the people that he mentors. Yeah.
It was Valinda, Joe and Valinda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he played a song that she had brought to him on one of their coaching sessions. And he played the original demo, and took us through like him listening to that, and then into draft number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't remember how many drafts of this song he played, and each time it got different, and the lyrics changed, and the emotion and the weight of the the emotional impact changed each time. And then when he finally got to the end, she had changed this song in such a big way, it was unrecognizable from the first draft. And there was somewhere in there, I really thought it lost its way. And I think James did too. And so his final, the aha moment. The finale, is he said, I asked Valinda, how much do you trust me? And she said, you just do what you need to do. So he's, instead of her singing it, he sang it and changed a few words, changed the tempo, changed the key to fit his voice. And he played us that version, and holy crap, not a dry eye in the house. It was just
Yeah.
like heart-wrenching. So good.
So
Yeah.
James Koshin runs a retreat called the Northwood Songwriters Retreat. It happens in September in the woods in Wisconsin. And Matt and Todd and I are all quite heavily involved in that process. Whether it's organizing, whether it's telling you how to find your bed, whether it's showing up and mentoring, we all have stuff to do with that. If anyone's interested, you can check it out online. There's a website for Northwood Songwriters Retreat. And on Saturday, we're actually having an information session. So if you're interested, you can email and we can send you the link to that and you can come and hang out with us and we can talk about that more. I was just looking
Nice.
through. So I took a picture of the whiteboard from his class. And I think one of the things that really stood out to me was when he was talking about the melody and keeping it simple. And then he also was talking a lot about sing it like you say it.
Yeah.
The languaging, like sing it like you say it. And I think that's a really big kind of aha moment for a lot of people.
So big. And I
Yeah.
think he was probably one of the first people I ever heard that from. Maybe I had heard it before from, they used to have these coaches down at the road rally, guy named Ralph Murphy, but he's RIP. He passed away a handful of years ago. Then there was another guy named Pat Pattison, who was amazing. He was, oh gosh, who's the guy? One of the big singer-songwriters. He was his teacher at Berkeley, I think. Like one of the big names, but the name is not coming to me right now. And then there was another guy named Jason Bloom. And those were like the three vocal coaches or lyric coaches that used to be at the rally. None of them were there this year. Obviously Ralph, because he's not alive anymore. So I may have heard it from those people before James, but what a valuable lesson. And once you learn that you should deliver your lyrics melodically the same way that you would say them and stress the same syllables and the same words as if you were having a conversation, I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb once
really
you see
does.
other people not do that. And like, why are you stressing the word the?
Oh yeah.
So
Well, you
Marion,
wouldn't do that in real life.
Right.
So it's
Or-
really funny and eye-opening.
Or if we hear
Marion's
some,
asking us a question here, guys,
Oh, yeah.
really quick. So Marion says, Matt, was the melody of the song still the same after all those lyric changes?
Oh, good question. I don't think it was, Marion. No, it
No, I don't think it
changed
was.
No.
rather remarkably. And I think by the time it finished, it came back around to like something closer to the fourth or fifth draft.
I think so,
But
yeah.
it was, yeah, I mean, this whole song went through an overhaul from
On that-
top to bottom, but the sentiment was there the entire time. Like it was the emotional weight of the song was always there, and the lyrical meaning was always there. But you know how it was delivered changed
Hey,
every single
TikTok.
time.
they could have taken
Stu,
that
thanks
third
for hanging
draft.
out. Sorry, guys. I have to interrupt you to
No,
talk to our
please.
audience.
Oh, I saw someone in the audience. Taquito Yummy says, "What the is this?"
Exactly. Who are these
Okay,
people?
I don't
What are
know.
they talking about?
Just
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if that guy's still here or not, but
Who's
maybe
the
he just
quiet guy in
stumbled
the
into here on
corner?
accident.
Yeah.
I thought the third iteration of that song, they could have taken that and then followed that down yet another path, kind of done the same thing to that third iteration and had another song out of it. You know, maybe obviously they'd need a new set of lyrics, but they were so radically different. And I really, the third iteration kind of stood out to me as being really
So
great.
You were at that class too, Todd?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You know what? I really liked the first one too. It just had kind of a cool bossa nova feel to it.
Yeah.
And that was ditched almost immediately.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah.
It was fun. So, okay. So, one of the classes I wanted to talk about was they did a video game class. None of us caught it. Matt, you caught part of it, right?
I caught part of it.
And I was watching in one of the kind of like recaps that they talked about making music for like slot machines.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, when you're thinking about ways that you can make music and you're like an artist and you're like, how can I make money? I bet making music for slot machines crosses almost no one's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've been
someone's
in
got
this
to write
business for
that.
a long time, and I never would have thought about that as a lane you can take.
I mean, I went for that guy who wrote da 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 da, and if it gets royalties on that every time the slot machine
Yeah.
plays that thing,
Well,
24 hours a day and all up and down the state of Nevada.
so actually, I have been familiar with music being licensed for slot machines before because my friend Chuck Henry, you guys' friend too,
Yeah.
Yep.
he had the song on the slot machine for "Let's Make a Deal," or maybe it was "Deal or No Deal." I can't. One of those deal things. He actually had the closing credit theme of the actual TV show.
Wow.
Made him just like gobs of money. And then that show started their brand of slot machines, and they got them all over the place. And I was with him. This is probably like 9 years ago. I was down in LA when he got a phone call from the slot machine production team. And they're like, hey, we really want to use this music because it ties into the show. People know the show, so they know the slot. It's got to be the same music. And he made that deal on the spot, on the phone. It's not royalties, but it was a lump sum payout that I think renews every year.
Man.
That was going
But
to
it
be my
was,
next question.
Yeah,
Because you know what? A lot of people don't understand, and there's classes at the rally that explain it well. But a lot of people don't understand that we can get upfront money as well as royalties, as well as kind of these like standalone things. And I think that's really interesting you said that. So it was a lump sum, and then he has the option to renew it every year.
Yeah, I'm pretty
presumably.
sure it renews every year.
Slot machine music, guys.
Wow.
Hear it
Yeah,
here.
but what makes that one a little bit different is that was music that was already written for TV.
Yeah.
That just happened to, transfer over to the slot machine world. And I guess it just, even though I knew that story, it didn't dawn on me that someone was actually writing specific slot machine music. Like,
Yeah.
this is bizarre, but it's
I
so
know,
freaking
right?
cool. I want to
Right.
get into that. Like, I want to send that guy an email and just be like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I
Hi,
want to just
Shelby.
give this a shot.
So we have Shelby here. She's crossover from Jessica's audience, and we also have some people on TikTok that are crossovers from my sister's audience.
Oh, great.
Oh, nice.
Hey, coffee
and-
fiends.
We have something similar with them in that we did Station Nation, which is her theme song,
Yeah.
which they all, kind of keep alive for us. And who knows where that's going to end up down the road.
Right.
Um,
On the Station
yeah, you
Nation
just
pinball
never know.
machine.
yeah, it could happen.
Yeah. I mean, you never know about this world, where this stuff is going to go and what's going to, come about as a result of some random project here and
Right.
there.
But that's why, you got to, be putting stuff out there constantly, everywhere, just every place where you can find a fit for something. Yeah, because
I see in our comments we have several people that couldn't come this year and want to come next year. And I wanted to talk about the costs of going because I think that's something that scares a lot of people, how expensive it might be. And Matt, I know you've talked about it on your constantly, really honestly, that it's one of the best investments you can make in your career. And I wanted Todd to weigh in on his thoughts with that because I also feel that way. But what do you think, Todd?
yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, if you're going to take a college, I mean, you get the equivalent of a college course in music knowledge, just from the road rally alone. But if you're in the game and you're constantly submitting and doing things to try and improve your knowledge of that world, you're going to, you're just going to be way ahead of everybody on how the music business works. And if you're going to go to college to learn that, it would just cost you thousands.
Dude,
This
thousands.
is. Yeah, this is $200 a year. Factor in a little, depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from where Michelle's coming from, it's a lot more than when you're coming
Or
from
New Zealand.
or New Zealand, where FM Cozy comes from. Me and Matt are just a single shot plane ride away, so it's not so bad for us. But staying in the Westin, if you can do it, it's totally worth it. You want to be in the midst of all the action that's and that's going to cost you a little bit more. You can get the whatever's, I don't know what's down the street, Holiday Inn. Don't go under the bridge. Don't, whatever you do, don't get on the other side of the bridge.
There's in the forums, and the taxi forums are free for anybody to like hang out and check out and get a feel of the community and what it's all about. But coming up on the rally, people talk about room sharing too. And a lot of people meet people that way and then cut their costs that way.
Yeah.
I think the Westin prices actually are pretty crazy cheap for us for that weekend.
It's really good. It was like $175 a night.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that is the conference rate.
And if you really want to, they let you have up to 4 people in the room.
Yeah, you can split it. I used to, back in the day, this is pre-COVID, me and the guys from the Boise group up here, we used to all split rooms, and we put 3 people in each room, and it came out to about $175 per person. 3 nights at $175 a night. Well, divided by 3 is $175, and that's just giving it away.
For LA, that is so cheap.
Dude, Todd, here in Boise, dude, you can't even find a hotel for under $200.
Exactly right.
In Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Like what?
So that's that's a good deal.
And you make friends.
Yeah.
Somebody came up and talked to me about wanting to collaborate with someone, and they hadn't really gotten any feedback. Like the person had just kind of like blown them off. And they're like, what should I do? And I was like, you know what? That person was clearly not your person. But in this 2,000 people, your person's probably here.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
go out there, meet people, make some friends. And I mean, Matt, obviously you've made like best friends. And Todd and I have made like, what we think are going to be lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Coming out of these weekends.
Yeah, totally. And it gets to the point when you go to enough of these things, it's like a family reunion. Only better, probably, because family reunion, I mean, your family doesn't mean you necessarily like know each other, or I mean, I'm sure y'all like each other, I hope anyways, but maybe you don't know at least it's the way at my family reunions, some distant people, and you don't really know who they are. And I guess that's true for the road rally as well, because there's thousands of people there. But the people that you see year in and year out, these are people that you are excited to see, and it just feels so good. It's like warm and fuzzy all over just to get to see these people every year.
The other thing I like about it is it's a very welcoming environment. If you're new there, you are okay to just like walk up to a group of people that you see, introduce yourself, say, hi, I'm whoever, and I'm a producer, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I'm an XY, and you will find yourself welcomed into any group, that's, barring maybe a group is doing something that's important to them. But for the most part, everyone is just really friendly and very open and is glad to have you there. They'll be like, hey, dude, glad you're here. What do you do? That's great. And I've been to other types of music conferences, and that's not always the type of environment you're going to run into.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this would also be an excellent moment to segue into the fact that this video is not sponsored. All of our opinions are our own. We just really do love it that much.
Yeah. So I was going to talk about the manifesting class. Was the one that's my second year going to it, and it seems like, if you see the list of other types of classes, it's, very technical stuff about, how to layer things in your DAW to get a fatter drum sound. It's all these kind of very specific things. And so manifesting just seemed like something from out in left field. And they had for the first time last year, and I went to it, and I was one of only, 6-7 people there. A lot of people hadn't really taken to it. And I stayed for the whole class, and I walked out of there kind of like, I don't know about that. It seemed a little hocus pocus,
little woo woo,
little woo woo. I'm not really sure what Michael was thinking having this, but I found myself after I left this class, I couldn't stop thinking about stuff she said. I guess she manifested herself into my brain somehow, because I could not stop thinking about stuff she said. And I would see, a podcast or an article or something about manifesting, and I was like, wow. Okay. I'm hearing it. And then it finally got to the point where I read something and it's like, sure, why not try it? Why not try something for something really impossible? And like I wanted to buy a house. And you know how difficult it is to buy a house in downtown Boise these days. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't have cash in your pocket to compete with all the real estate developers coming in from California, you're pretty out of luck. And so I thought, well, you know, if I can manifest a house, I think I might be a little more of a believer. And I won't tell the whole story, but it's quite a story how in a roundabout way this came about. And I'm sitting here now in this house that I own. So this year I went back to that class like, okay, I'm a believer. What more you got for me? And
Manifest that winning lottery ticket.
yeah.
Then.
Right.
Well, the great thing in this class, and it's the greatest class, and this time it was jam packed. It was overflowing with people. I
Because
guess
they heard about Todd's house.
yeah, I think just like the 6 people who were there went out and told 6 other people for this year, and she came up to me in the class and she looked at me and she's like, you know, you're a producer, right? Just picked me out, and we don't know each other at all. I'd just been in the class the year before, didn't even talk to her. Yeah, you're a producer, right? It's like, I see something in my head. I see you working with like some really awesome singers. I could see you walking up on stage and accepting that Grammy. And, and at first I'm like, oh, no, no. But now I'm like half obsessed with it. You know, it's like she said it. I'm sitting in this house. How far is that from a Grammy? I don't know. We know a guy who has one, you know, a good friend of ours has one. It's only 1 degree of separation away. Why not? Why not me or you or us or anybody who's in the comments? Why couldn't it be? So I think that's my it's my manifesting project for
Oh yeah, that's
Todd
awesome.
and I are
Next
going to win
year.
a Grammy.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
essentially both of us.
yes.
Said Todd. So,
Yeah. Oh, well.
but I get it through osmosis.
Well, she wasn't
That's
there,
our
just
partner.
to be fair. Yeah.
I think what's really cool is that there's like classes on everything. Like, you know, Todd, the manifestation or manifesting, sorry. But also
Sure.
like business things, and like the MLC does a class. So understanding your mechanical royalties and understanding stems and like, you know, things that are Greek to most people. They just make so accessible.
Right. And they get some of the just absolute best in the business. You got like, you know, Ronan Chris Murphy. I mean, he's one of the tops in his field out there. You're not, you're not learning from, me. You learn from the upper echelon of guys in that field.
TikTok says, "Will dye my hair blue and call me Marge because I love you, homie." I'm sure they're talking about Matt.
Yeah.
They're
Who's
talking
this
about
on
that.
TikTok? I had blue hair at one road rally a long time ago.
Oh, man. What was,
So you were going to have Matt tell his story of his first.
yeah,
solo.
right, Matt, you got to tell the story of,
Well, okay, so yeah, let me give some. I'm gonna go back even farther than I usually go when I tell this story. Amongst good friends here. So I was dating a girl. This was back in, oh my goodness, 2011.
When you were 10.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yep. Maybe it was 2010. It was somewhere in that neighborhood. And I had been a taxi member for a handful of years and would always get their emails about the road rally because, they pepper those emails out there. And they did the same thing 14, 15 years ago. And I would always get those emails and be like, well, I can't go to LA or whatever. There was always some excuse. I guess I just didn't even think that was something worth considering for some reason. And then randomly, me and this gal I was dating were going on a cruise, and it took off out of Long Beach down there by LA. And it was it was the week before the rally, like on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the rally starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so it was perfect timing. And I was like, you know what? We're going to be there anyways. Let's just extend the trip. And I'll go check out this music conference put on by Taxi. And the girl that I was dating at the time thought Taxi was a giant scam. Like
Dun, dun, dun.
she was absolutely convinced that it was a scam. And I wasn't, back in those days, wasn't submitting that much music to him. But every time I submitted something, I like had all my hopes and dreams of a fabulous future riding on this one submission. And every time I would get rejected, and it would be soul crushing. And of course, she was my personal cheerleader, and she's like, those songs are great. She didn't know the industry. I didn't know the industry. Again, we thought they were cool songs. Doesn't really mean anything for us, but back in those days, we didn't know the difference. So she thought Taxi was just an outright scam and didn't really want to go to this conference. But I was like, you know what? We're going to be there. You can fly home if you want early, but I'm just going to stay. But since I got to get the hotel room anyways, like, just stay with me. So we get into the conference, and I don't know if we got there on a Thursday. I think it was Friday. So we missed the check-in line stuff on Thursday. And I was just so intimidated by everything because I was like a fish out of water coming in from little Nampa, Idaho. And the music scene out here in Boise is fairly small. At least, what's that?
I said, I can't picture you quiet.
Yeah.
Or overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was very overwhelmed this time, believe it or not. And yeah, I was used to, like, you know, the music scene out in Idaho, at least back then, is pretty small. And so you tended to know everybody in a circle. Like, you didn't know them all that well, but you knew who all the bands were. And some of them you knew well enough to, like, you know, spend a few minutes with them at a show or whatever. But all of a sudden I'm down amongst 2,500 musicians, and I didn't know a single one of them. And my only person was my girlfriend, who was just sure the whole thing was just a railroad operation to pilfer people for all their money. She had such a bad attitude. It's funny to laugh at now, but yeah, she was just so unconvinced. And we'd go into the big panels in the ballroom and listen to the successful members get asked questions, and they'd talk about these deals and those deals. And she was just absolutely sure that none of these deals were real. Like, they were either paid by Taxi to just spout a bunch of lies to everybody to get more members out there. The depths of this conspiracy she had in her head were, I mean, they were deep.
Yeah.
and so she thought everything was just a big show. And as a result, it kind of tainted my enjoyment of the whole thing. And I never really got to meet anybody because she had a bad attitude and just always wanted to go back to the room because she was turned off by everything.
Dang girl,
And
man.
yeah,
Dang
and then she's
girl.
like, aren't you going to come
Yeah.
back to the room and watch a movie with me or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this conference. But, and then, you know, you ride that weird line, like, do I keep this girl happy or do I go do
Yeah.
my thing? And just walking both sides of that fence. And
Todd's my roommate at the rally, and I totally get it.
okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he's
Shell,
But at some
aren't you
point
coming
in
back to
that
the room?
rally,
Come on.
I met a guy named James Koshin, who we've already mentioned in this show. He's like one of my role models, really. And back when I met him in 2011, he was just he wasn't a beginner, but he was in the early stages of career development, just like everybody who goes to the rally in their first couple of years. And he was going to all the classes and he was taking notes on everything. And I was just so amazed by that because I went there completely unprepared. And I had no notebooks, no pencils, no nothing. And I see this guy just taking notes on everything. I'm like, oh, man, that's the way you do it. And I sat next to him in a couple of classes, oddly enough. And I just watched him just soak everything in so well. And he'd ask like all the right questions that I would never in a million years back then have even thought of. So I started talking to him. I was like, dude, yeah, man, it's good to meet you. And we're sitting next to each other again. And that's all I really knew of him. I got his name and stuff. And then later in that weekend, I bumped into him in an elevator, and I was just talking about how I didn't think that I really was cut out for this world at all. Because back then I was trying to write country music for country stars, and James was just like, "Well, dude, what have you ever thought about writing music for TV?" And I hadn't at all, and was like, "No, is that even a thing?" which is such a stupid mentality for me to have had, because the whole conference is about writing music for TV. Like, there is stuff for artists and getting record deals, and that those things are there, but by and large, it's a conference focused on getting placements on TV shows. And my stupid self at the time was just wanting to be a hit songwriter and be a millionaire. So I didn't
As
like,
we
all this
all
stuff
do.
was happening around me, and I paid it no attention because I had tunnel vision on just writing the number one hit country song that I could retire on. So James mentioned the thing about TV shows, and I was like, oh gosh, it just dawned on me that, maybe I need to try something else, because every shot I had taken in the music business was just a vortex of money sucking. Like I was throwing money into studios, and studio time is expensive. I was going down to Audio Lab, and that's back when they charged $50 an hour. Like, they're far more expensive now, but even back then, that it doesn't take too many hours to have a sizable tab on your hands, especially when you're doing a whole album. And then I was pouring money into, like, you buy the 1,000 copies of a stupid CD. So, like, what? And of course, no, it wasn't just enough to have the CD. I wanted the fancy case with the multi-page full color thing on the end, and the price tags of this stuff is just going through the roof. And I never got any of that money back. Like, I never recouped any of it. In my garage, I still have boxes full of, each box has 100 CDs. I don't even know how many boxes I have out there of freaking CDs that I just flushed money down the drain.
I have one of those CDs out in my
it,
garage.
I was like, I'm just I got to try a different tack in this music
I just thought of
thing.
a whole new show, guys, while Matt's talking. I just thought of a whole new show. We should listen to garage CDs.
Oh my God, that's
What's that? Garage what?
garage CD. Everyone has Ned Evett used to call it the sarcophagus of creativity out in his garage.
Yeah.
Everyone should grab their garage CDs that they still have, and that's a good show.
It's a new
Dude, that's
series.
File
a
that
great
away.
show.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every single musician, at least from our era, has CDs in their garage of their own.
Yep.
Because we all printed 1,000 of them at a minimum.
Oh
It didn't
yeah.
make sense to do any less than that.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, didn't make sense.
That's
Never
gonna
mind.
be in the new year.
I got probably 1,900 of them out in my garage right now. Oh gosh.
We'll
the things we
pre-sell
do.
them and deliver them in November.
What's that?
I said we'll pre-sell them and deliver them in November.
Yeah, you know what? I would be so embarrassed to even hand those things out. I'm at to the point now. I think you can still find some of them on like YouTube Music or whatever, but CD Baby doesn't even have them in stock anymore. That was the one that I used to sell them through back when they were kind of a startup business. And probably 10, 15 years ago, they emailed me saying, we haven't sold any of these. We're going to go ahead and trash them unless you want to pay for shipping to have them sent back to you.
So anyways, I'm sorry to derail you. I had a light bulb.
I love that idea. That's that's one thing that kids these days are missing out on. Flushing money down the toilet to print 1,000 CDs. They don't know how good they've got it. Everything's digital. There's no money involved anymore.
So we
That's
have
funny.
a whole bunch of people here. Saul's here, Marion's here, Andre's here, Chris is here. We've got TikTok
Oh,
people.
is that
Thanks
Saul?
for hanging
Our
out
Saul
with
from
us,
Boise?
guys.
Or different Saul?
Salster 10. That's Saul. Oh, okay.
I think so.
Yo, Saul.
If not, we're shouting out the wrong person. But we love you, whoever you are.
Yeah, even if you're a different Saul than I'm thinking of, we still thank you for being here.
So I think so. Before we go on to your next road rally story, which I think is the one Todd was talking about, meeting James in some ways changed your life.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone who goes to the rally and tries, you're going to meet someone that changes your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
is it's the culture, it's the vibe, and it's the opportunities that are available for you.
Yeah, I mean, and it is like, I'm not lying at all when I say I only met one person my first year, and it was the one guy who changed my entire life and trajectory of
Right.
my music. He basically allowed me to be sitting here, making music in my underwear every day.
And you didn't know it at that moment. He was just another guy like you,
Yeah,
just a
I
guy you
didn't
got
know it
along
at
with.
that moment.
Yeah.
He was like 2 or 3 years ahead of me in trajectory was all. So he was just a guy on the come up too. But like, there's just so many possibilities down there, and you just got to be open and receptive.
And if you would like to meet James Koshin, you can come hang out with Matt and Todd and I in September at the Northwood
Right.
Songwriters
You
Retreat.
can help him polish his Grammy.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't recommend that one enough to people. Like, that
Yeah.
is such a. These 2 weekends, the Road Rally and Northwood Songwriting, they are such great weekends. And I would hate to choose which one I like better. And I can't, because they're so different. Like, there's really no comparison between the two. They don't have any similarities at all, other than they are music weekends.
They're so
Yeah.
aligned in like their goals and what they want for people and development.
That's
And I
right.
think like if you can only do two things, do these two things.
Yeah.
Also, the prices are going to go up after Christmas. So if you have a songwriter in your life that you want to send, check it out.
Yeah,
Anyway,
definitely.
back to your story. Year 2.
Oh, so yeah, I'll tell you my second road rally. So the first one was obviously very fateful because it put me on this path, and I couldn't go the following year. So there was a 1-year break where I didn't go. So 2 years later, I went back for my second road rally, and I had just built this shed in my backyard out here in Nampa, Idaho. Not this house, my previous house. And I built this shed. It was, oh gosh, what was it? 10 feet by 14 feet. It was just a little backyard shed that I turned into a music studio. That's where I did all my work. And I was putting together a chair, like an office chair. I was like clipping the legs in and stuff. And so I was down on my floor, and it must have been a Monday night, because there was an email that had gone out from Taxi saying that their Taxi TV that night was meet 2 6-figure earning members and hear their secrets, or something like that. Like, that was the clickbait title. Okay, so I was like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. So I'm sitting in my new studio, putting a chair together, listening to Taxi TV. And who does it happen to be? Chuck Henry. Who's one of my best friends now. I did not know him at all. This is the first time I'd ever even heard his name or seen his face or anything, and it was on the computer screen. And he was with a friend of his, also now a friend of mine, named Stephen Baird. I don't think you guys have met him. He kind
I
of
don't
stopped
think
going to the
so.
rally, I think
No.
pre-COVID. Another great guy, though. And so I was watching this video with those two guys, and that happened probably 2 or 3 weeks before the road rally. Okay. So I watched that show, and I'm just totally inspired, because these guys are talking about how they made a fortune writing hip hop music. And these are 2 like middle-aged nerdy white dudes like making piles of money on hip hop music. And up until then, I pretty much scorned hip hop because I was a rock and roll guy. And that's, you get to be, at least in like a performing music scene, in my day anyways, you just basically scorned all other types of music. Like, if it ain't hard rock, it's nothing. And so hip hop was like, oh gosh, that's not even music. At least that was my mentality back then. And then that mentality changed when I saw that these 2 nerdy white dudes, middle-aged guys, were making tons of money making hip hop music. So I'm like super inspired, and I go down to the road rally just a couple weeks after seeing them on the computer, and I'm standing in the registration line for the hotel, and I see him. Like, Chuck was wearing the same clothes that he wore on Taxi TV. Like, obviously doing it to have some type of familiarity so people would recognize him. But I was like, oh, that's those guys. Holy crap. I was like already starstruck. And So I get through the registration line and everything, and I go up to my room. This is on the first day, on a Thursday night. And I remember thinking to myself, I should just go to bed early because tomorrow I'm going to hit the ground running. Because I remember James Koshin with his notebook and his pencils and everything. I was like, I'm going to be that guy this year, and I don't want to be tired. If I go downstairs to the lobby, who knows what'll happen. And I want to be refreshed and recharged, good night's sleep and everything. And I remember being up in my room having this moment where it was basically a coin toss. It's like, do I stay here and go to sleep early, or do I go downstairs just to see? And I would like my previous road rally experience, I didn't get to be social at all because I had the girlfriend. And so I told myself, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to order one beer from the bar, because beers back then were like $8. I know they're probably way more now. But I was like, I'm going to order one beer, and however long it takes me to drink that one beer is how long I stay downstairs.
Did you go to bed that night?
Not till like 4 a.m. So what had happened was I no sooner ordered that beer than I turned over this way. And, you know, they got in the lobby there, they've got those TVs up against the wall, and they were all playing college football. And at that point, I'm a huge college football fan. I love the Boise State Broncos. And I saw Chuck Henry and Steve Baird standing right there by the TVs watching college football. And so I just went over to him. I don't even know what I said. I think I said like, hey, you're the guy from the TV. And Chuck was like, yeah, whatever. And we started talking about college football because he's a huge college football fan too. And he's a Georgia graduate. So he's a Georgia Bulldog, and I'm a Boise State Bronco. And oddly enough, our teams had just played each other. I think the previous year, they never play each other, but Boise State won. And he's still bitter about that one all these years later. So we started talking about that, and we realized that we had college football in common. And that just like the conversation just spiraled from there. And next thing you know, my beer was gone. And he's like, well, I got more, like, don't spend $8. I got more beer up in my suite. And so upstairs we go. Next thing you know, I've got all sorts. I'm drinking all the beers. And Chuck is listening to my music, sitting on the bed, the headphones on, and like giving me a master class on everything I was doing wrong and why it was wrong, which was so eye-opening. Because, you know, I've been getting taxi rejections all the time, and they'll give you like 1 or 2 sentences here and there. And sometimes it's good feedback. Other times, if you don't really know the way this industry is, sometimes it can leave you scratching your head. So Chuck told me everything I was doing wrong and why it was wrong. And then the light bulbs were going off, because it's not enough really to know that you're doing something wrong. It's like correcting a kid. Like, you can't do that. And the kid just knows they can't do it, but they don't know what'll actually happen if they do it, right? So sometimes the best way to learn is by just burning your hand on a stove top or something, right? Not that I encourage your kids to burn their hands on stovetops, but you have to understand.
Disclaimer: we do not encourage that.
Yeah, you don't call CPS over here. Yeah. But you just have to have that understanding of why something doesn't work for that light bulb to really go off. And so he told me all that. And he's like, this is the way you need to do things from now on, because, and then he laid out all those reasons too. And within about, an hour of just sitting on the bed with him with his headphones on, me drinking his beers for free, I walked out of there like the whole world was my oyster. And so this is the first guy I met my second year of the Taxi Road Rally. I met James Koshin my first year. Second year, I met Chuck Henry. And this is this crap that happens at this conference. And there's been no two people more instrumental, good choice of words, in my life than those two guys. So
well, I mean, Todd and
we stayed up that night till like 4 a.m, and I was still a good student and went into all the classes and took notes and everything. But just remarkable what can happen.
Yeah.
Well, Todd and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And that's a
Right.
story Todd tells, right? You can tell the story, Todd.
Oh, just
Um,
we have a when Matt was referring to the super expensive recording studio earlier, I was a co-owner of that studio. Not at the time. At that point, I had sold out to my partner, Steve Fulton. But we were good friends, and Steve was I don't even remember what I was doing there. I go there all the time. So, and Matt happened to be there, and Steve introduced us. And by this time, Matt had been really, really successful, and Steve introduced me to Matt as he's like, hey, this is one of the guys in town that I think is, could do what you do. And so then I felt like obligated to do that, which I was like, thanks. Appreciate you doing that, Steve. Because it really, I mean, honestly, it sort of pushed me. I mean, just it's interesting to have another party sort of believe in you that way,
Yeah.
It just, now I feel like, oh, well, he believes in me. I guess I better believe in me too then. So yeah, honestly, so you and Steve would be, good. Of course, Steve was instrumental in my life from the time we were in our 20s. So,
I think there's also something to be said for having a chase car. And I
chase
mean, what
car?
better chase car to have than Matt? So we're
Well,
like,
yeah,
whatever
like the
he's
rabbit
doing, we're
at
aiming for that.
at a dog
Oh,
race.
right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt did it in
Well,
5 weekends, or whatever, like setting those milestones. And I think so some of our biggest placements have come from meeting someone in line to get coffee
Mm-hmm.
at the road rally and striking up a conversation and being like, hi, I'm so and so, I'm so and so. And that year, actually, nothing even came of it. And we went to the Northwoods retreat the first year, and lo and behold, same person shows up, and we're hanging out by the fire, and we're, with Jim and talking. And next thing you know, we're working together. And next thing you know, we're working together again. And that's the magic of this community, I think.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. They, I heard early on when you join Taxi, they consider collaboration one of the pillars that sort of holds up your taxi career. And I remember early on thinking that it's like, nah, it's not for me. I have a collaborator already right there. And so it's like, what do I need a collaborator for? It's like, well, you end up needing them just for nothing else. Just moral support is good, but that person who collaborates with is going to maybe help you into the next library that you get into, or it's going to be the one that's me like, oh, I don't have a song like that, but I know who does, and
Or why your mix sucks. Which sounds harsh, but you have to hear that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't.
yeah, and it really is. I mean, I know we keep coming back to this, but it really is a community of people that seems to truly, honestly want to build each other up. When someone has a success and people are like, "Oh man, that's great," they're legit. That's not. They're not stabbing you in the back as soon as you walk away.
Right.
They're legitimately happy for that success.
So I think our takeaways for this evening would be: taxi's not a scam. Todd and I are making money. Matt's making money, different levels of money, but come see us next year.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it moves like a snowball, really.
Yeah.
Like these royalties, it takes a while just for the game to like catch up with itself.
We could do a whole nother show on that topic.
Yeah, so
I
that's
Yeah.
a whole different ball of wax. But
Yeah.
eventually it does get to the point where it builds like a snowball and just really starts building up momentum, and the size of the checks get bigger.
We were looking at our latest BMI statement came I guess it was last week, and we look at it, and at first breath, we were a little disappointed. Wasn't maybe as big as a couple of have been in the past. But then I looked up old ones, and I looked at exactly 2 years ago the statements, and we were 20 times as much, 20 times as much as that 2 years ago. So that's how much we're Xing up all the time, and that was, but sadly, that was a disappointing statement because we'd had some pretty nice ones prior to that. But
Yeah.
that's you got to ride the wave, man.
Dude, mine. I just opened mine today. I get mine in the mail. I still
Oh.
get a paper check, and I opened it up, and I was like, God dang it!
It wasn't bad.
Like it is a roller coaster. You just never really know
Yeah.
Yeah.
ups and downs. But this was a down one for me, and I'm like, ugh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I think that there's so many things once you join the community, because it really is a community. Like it's so many. It's friends. It's collaborators. It's commiserators.
Yeah, yeah,
When you get returns or when you get crappy BMI statements or whatever. I think that it's so worth joining. And when I talk to new musicians or like old musicians, and I'm like, hey, you guys got to, like come on board. That's the part I wish I could show them,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't know until you go and experience it.
I know, and so many people just never take that step, which is such a shame. Like,
Yeah.
I talk about it all the time with our little group up here. I don't know if you've been around, because you typically have to leave the workshops early, Todd, when we get together at my house. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was at the gig.
Yeah.
But when I put this group together, there were so many people on the initial wave of people I invited to be a part of this thing. And they had all talked about just wanting to be musicians for a living. Like, everyone just wanted to make music and get paid for it and have that be their job. And so when I started making inroads to this, I wanted to share all that knowledge with other people. Some of them took me up on it, and those people are now are doing quite well for themselves. Brendan is one of those guys who's Brendan Nickel. Me and him go back 25 years, and I kind of brought him into this world, and he's doing really well now. But there's all sorts of guys that just never did it. And it always blows my mind. It's like you couldn't spend a couple $100 on a business called, your taxi membership. If you were starting any other business, your startup costs are far in excess of $300. I know anytime I have to order new gift bags for my popcorn shop, like I got these little custom bags, it's $500 every time I order a new run of them. And that's just for a freaking bag that I'm giving away when people buy popcorn. And so to think that the thing that could make your career is only $300 in the scope of business expenses, that is so negligible. It's laughable, really. And then some people do sign up, but then they don't go to the road rally.
Yeah.
Like, what, this is like the single biggest perk this company offers, and it's free. What are you doing?
I don't think you don't know taxi if you don't go to the rally.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's absolutely true.
You don't know the people, you don't know the thing. Like if you don't go and experience that, and like all of us, and like, you don't know.
Yeah. And I would say especially true for anyone who's in the chat room right now who hasn't been and is on the fence. You might not know me personally, but you at least know who I am now. You know Michelle and Todd. Like, people. I didn't know anybody when I went and was able to turn this into a career. So you're already starting out ahead. It's not scary when you know people. And
just come say hi, because most of
Yeah.
us are happy to say hi.
Yeah, it's honestly that easy with, had that happen a number of times, conversations over the last weekend. It's great. Love to hear about these, young rappers that came to Taxi for the first time because they got, their first rap demos and they're all excited. I love that energy. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they'll learn.
Reading through the comments here. Marion remembers the episode of Taxi TV where Michael Lasco came to my old house. Yeah, we were out in the shed, and the connection it didn't quite reach all the way out there for the bandwidth we needed for the video.
Oh boy.
We all know about
inside.
technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And Saul, you are the Saul. Yay. Thanks for all your advice and support. You guys really do selfishly give and hold others up, which is an amazing thing to do. Thanks, Saul.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks.
Sal. On that note, I think we are probably almost ready to jump off. You guys have Thanksgiving coming up. It's a big week.
I do.
Mine was a month ago. You're a little behind. Um,
Well, guess what? It's still projected to be like in the mid 40s, upper 40s next weekend down here. What's it
nice.
going to be
Yeah.
like for you, Michelle?
Well, currently it's minus 15 Celsius, so I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold,
Oh, geez. What's that, like 20 degrees?
probably. But the northern
Fahrenheit?
lights, you guys,
Oh, your Northern
The
Lights
Northern
pictures.
Oh, that's right. You
This
sent me that
week
picture
have
when you got home
been-
from the rally.
they're
Yeah.
like in the morning, because of course it's dark here, right? They're in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like it's amazing. So I can't complain too much. But I think we now have a new idea. We're gonna do garage tapes.
Yes. Garage CDs.
I
I
love
love
that idea.
this
That
so
is
Maybe
much.
such
Matt
a
will
good
come back
idea.
and feature some stuffs.
Yeah. If not, I have one of Matt's CDs, so I'll
I'm sorry. I should go into my garage and try to dig. I got 3 different CDs that I had big runs of 1,000 made up. So I'll go see if I can find them all.
Just one sec. Okay, so Bridget says, this has been a great show, coming at the right time, feeling really challenged. Thanks, Michelle, Todd, and of course, Matt Vanderpants.
Oh, what
Thanks
a
for
nice
hanging out with
comment.
us, Bridget. It was awesome.
Yay! Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. We don't have a fancy way to end. No
You
theme
just
music.
Shut it down.
No theme music to play us out. We'll have that for next
Todd,
time.
Todd's gonna make us theme music. We
Yeah.
gotta
But yeah,
compete
we
with some other people.
we are going to definitely try to be consistent. At least sometime midweek. Doing something like this, more listening parties. I really want to do some of the exercises that our group has done with Matt, and do them online. I think there's there is definitely a lot to be learned by these exercises that Matt comes up with. So love to include doing some of that in the future, but I won't tell you about them right now because that's the whole point. You can't know what's coming up. So anyway, so that's what we'll be doing in the future. So please feel free to tune in with us again. And
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It's been
okay.
great.